For today's Free Kids cooking class, we are going to be making Oreo cookie balls. So these are delicious, and they are kind of a cheat way to make cake balls. All right, so you'll need Oreo cookies. They can be any flavor, which is kind of part of the fun. So if you like mint, you can get the mint Oreos and have a different flavor of cake ball. I just have the regular Oreos. You need a package of cream cheese, and then you'll need chocolate, okay? Normally these are made with white chocolate chips, so that's what I have on the recipe card. But you can also make them with milk chocolate chips or any flavor of chocolate chips you like, okay? So I'm actually gonna do some of mine with white chocolate and some of mine with milk chocolate. Okay, so the first step is to crush up your Oreos. So we have a whole bunch of Oreos here. Now I got the family size, so there would be a couple extra. So I'm not gonna use all my Oreos because I have the family size. But if you have a regular package of Oreos, use all of them, all right? It takes one package of Oreo cookies. So I'm gonna put in a bunch of Oreos here. Probably use 2 sleeves of mine. And we're going to crush them up. So I'm going to use my little food processor here, but if you don't have a food processor, or if you want to do it a little differently, you totally can. All you have to do is get a Ziploc bag and put all your Oreo cookies in your Ziploc bag, and then you can use like a rolling pin or even just a big spoon and crush them up by hitting the Oreos. It's kind of fun. So that's another way that you can do it. So I'm going to crush up some of my Oreos, add a few more, and then crush up the rest. Okay, I must have too many in here. All right, here we go. Okay, so we need all of them in here, so I'm just gonna add a couple more. Okay, that should be enough Oreos for the recipe. Okay, so there are my crushed up Oreos, all right? They're like graham cracker crumbs almost, right? They're really crushed up, which is what we want. So now you need cream cheese, and it does need to be a little bit softened or you're gonna have a hard time mixing the cream cheese in with the Oreos. So my cream cheese just barely came out of the refrigerator, so I'm gonna put it in a bowl and I'm gonna put it in the microwave for a minute. Well, not a whole minute, but for a second. Okay, and we are gonna mix the cream cheese with the Oreos. Okay, so I put my cream cheese in for 30 seconds, and I'm gonna check it and see if it is soft enough. And if it is, we'll use it, and if not, we'll just keep, we'll put some more in. While that's in there, we might not have enough time, but we are going to need a cookie sheet with parchment paper on it, so we can prepare that. So if you don't have parchment paper, you can use wax paper. Basically, you're going to put your Oreo cookies balls on here and you don't want them to stick because they are going in the freezer. So I use parchment paper. All right, so we'll just test our cream cheese. Yeah, that looks great. See how soft it is when I dig my spatula in? That's perfect. Okay, so we're going to put, so again, however you're doing this, right, I'm just going to put my cream cheese in here and mix it up. But if you did it with a Ziploc bag, then get a bowl and a spoon and put your cream cheese in and then mix it up with a spoon. It's totally great. And quite honestly, I've never done this before. I've never put it in here before, so we'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll be using a bowl too. So, put all this in here. We don't need this anymore. Okay. And mix so you want your whole block of cream cheese mixed in with all of your Oreos. That's what we're going for. Great, okay. So I'm gonna take my blade out. We don't need that. Okay, so this is what mine looks like. I know probably in the video it just looks like crushed up Oreos still. But it is a creamy Oreo cream cheese mixture. That's what we're doing. So now we're gonna make our Oreo cookie balls. Okay, that's what we're gonna make now. So we have our tray with our parchment paper on it. And what you're gonna do is now you can do this with 2 spoons or you can do this with your hands, however messy you wanna get and depending on who's gonna be eating it, right? So if you're making food just for you or just for you and your family, use your hands, it's probably fine. But if you're making food for other people, you wanna make sure that you're using 2 spoons. Okay, so you take a spoonful, and if you're using 2 spoons, then you use the other spoon to take it off and put it on your parchment paper. All right, so we're gonna do that for all of our Oreo cookie mix. And make as many little balls as you want. And these can be any size, right? So if you wanna make little cookie balls and have more, or if you wanna make them really big and not have quite as many, then you're welcome to do that. Totally up to you. Now the next step is to freeze your cookie balls until they're hard, right? Until they're 100% hardened. So we're not gonna have time to do that on this show, so I have already made 2 cookie balls and frozen them so that we can finish the recipe together. So what I'm gonna do is pause and I'm gonna get the 2 cookie balls out that I have frozen already. Okay, so these are my already frozen cookie balls, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is, I'm gonna put them back in the freezer. I know I just barely got them out. I'm gonna put them back in the freezer while we melt our chocolate, just so they stay as hard as possible. Okay, so we are gonna melt some chocolate. Now, again, I'm only doing 2 cookie balls, so I'm not gonna melt that much chocolate right now. But if you were doing all of your cookie balls, you would want to melt more, right? So I'm just gonna melt a little bit of white chocolate. But again, when I finish all of my cookie balls, I'm gonna do half white chocolate, half milk chocolate. So I would want to melt half and half. So in this case though, I'm just gonna put in a little bit of white chocolate because we are only covering 2 cookie balls, okay? So I have about that much in there. And I'm gonna cover it and put it in the microwave. And again, remember, we melt chocolate 30 seconds at a time and then stir it in between each time that we melt it until it is completely smooth. Okay. Now, while that's in there, we can keep working on making our little cookie balls. So, if you guys are making this recipe, shout out what type of Oreo cookies you bought. There are lots of different flavors going on right now at the store. When I was there buying these, I saw birthday cake, I saw carrot cake. There are a lot of different choices, and at different times of the year, you can get different choices as well. Another thing that's fun about this recipe is you can easily theme it to be for any holiday, just by changing the chocolate that you use. So what I mean by that is you can use, I used it. Okay, we'll use a spoon. So I'm just gonna stir this, right? And my chocolate is not completely melted yet, so I'm gonna put it back in the microwave. Again, I forgot. Now this is not on your recipe. This is a special tip from me to you for watching the video. Now, if you are melting chocolate to cover anything, let's say you want to dip half of a cookie in chocolate and make it decorative. Or again, Oreo cookie balls. We're going to be covering the cookie balls in chocolate. Or chocolate dipped pretzel rods. Anything like that. It is a little tip to add a little Crisco to your chocolate. It makes it smoother. It makes it a little thinner, so your chocolate goes farther and is not as thick when you're using it to actually cover your cookie balls or whatever you're dipping. So I forgot to add it the first time, but that's fine because we're still going to be putting it back in the microwave for more melting. So I just added a little bit of Crisco. You don't need a lot. Honestly, just like a little spoonful is great. Okay, back to what I was saying about making these for any holiday. So something fun that you could do is instead of using your chocolate chips, you can go buy candy melts. They're usually in like the baking aisle at Walmart, you know, where they have the different types of baking pans and things like that. And they come in a lot of different colors. So around Easter, you could do like pinks and yellows and pastels and cover your cookie balls. Around Christmas, of course, you could do red and green. So it's kind of fun because you can tailor it to whatever is going on in your life at that time. Okay, so now I'm going to get that out again. Okay, and we'll see how melted they are. Yeah, okay, so these look way better. I'm going to mix it up and then I'll show it to you. They maybe need just like another 10 seconds, so I am going to put it back in. Okay, so hopefully you can see it's pretty melted, but there I can still see that there are chunks of chocolate in there that haven't melted. So I am going to put it in one last time to get it fully melted. Okay, so probably make one more cookie ball and then I'll show you how to freeze them or how to cover them once they're frozen. Okay, so I have my melted chocolate. I'm going to mix it up one last time, make sure everything looks good. Yep, now it looks great. It's totally smooth. I don't have any lumps in it at all from the chocolate. And that's what we wanted. Okay, so here it is. I'm going to get my frozen cookie balls. Okay, and again, this is a 2-spoon endeavor, all right? That's what you need, 2 spoons. So you're going to take your frozen cookie ball, put it in your spoon, put it in the chocolate, and kind of roll it around with 2 spoons until it's totally covered in chocolate. Then you'll scoop it out with 1 spoon and put it back on your parchment paper, all right? That's what you're going for. So roll it around, cover it with chocolate till it's 100% covered. Okay, and then I scooped it out with my spoon, and now I'm going to put that back on my parchment paper. Okay, so I'll do it again, right? You use your 2 spoons to pick it up, and then cover it with chocolate. You can I'm just actually taking, if you can see, the chocolate and putting it on top of the cookie ball in there to cover it. And then, of course, I also roll the cookie ball around in the chocolate to get it completely covered. So that's kind of how I'm doing it. Okay. All right, so, and again, you can do any kind of chocolate you want. Okay, so once it's completely covered, you take it out, put it back on your parchment paper, and now you just let them harden. So that means that you could leave them out at room temperature and they will harden, or you could put them back in the freezer and they will harden that way as well. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you enjoy your cookie balls. Thanks for joining today.